Hello everybody, and welcome to my F1 2017 career mode. Now, I never got round to finishing this, so you know what? Considering it was half finished, I've decided to go back and finish it off. So, for the eagle-eyed, I didn't really complete the second season either in uploads. So, just for context purposes, I did manage to finish third, I think it was, in the second season. I had uploads all the way up to Malaysia. But, you know what? We've decided to go back and complete the third and final season. So that is what I'm doing now. Racing for Ferrari on 95 AI difficulty. Live streaming all the races. And I don't know how often I'll be able to do them. But we are making a go of finishing off this career mode. And obviously this will be the last season whether I get world champion status or not. So yeah, I'm challenging myself and hoping that the title can be mine. We got one shot quali, 25% races. So yeah, hopefully we should be able to do something. At the moment, Vettel is just simply outclassing me here. He's currently first. I'm currently looking at starting sixth. So we've really got to make something of this last sector. This has not been the lap I'd hoped it would be. And that Vettel is just super quick in that Ferrari. And we've just not matched him at all here. So the first race of the season, it's going to be P6. Vettel's done a 23. And we're about a second away from that. But P6, not ideally where we want to be starting. You know, we want to be within the front five, but that it's part of the challenge, it's part of the fun, and fun is what we're going to have. So it's going to be a challenging race, I think, but if we can just get in amongst it, you know, among it, hopefully a podium should be reachable here. It's 15 laps, it's in the 25% race, so yeah, I'm not overly happy with that lap, and I don't think my team will be particularly happy either. Yeah, especially considering that Vettel has got pole position, so already losing the rivalry there. Vettel's just completely outdone me. That's not doing my reputation any good either. But we're going to set that aside, and we are going to go to the race. You know, qualifying is one thing, but we now have a whole race ahead of us. There's room for improvement, and there's things we can do. So let's just go all out and have some fun. Just waiting for the loading screen to finish doing its thing. First race of this new season then. Like I said, 25% races.
After an exciting qualifying session
let's have a look at the full grid.
Let's take a look at how the cars line up. Sebastian Vettel has a clear track ahead of him today. He starts in pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Ricciardo, Max Verstappen, and a Ferrari. Massa, Hülkenberg, Perez, and Esteban Ocon, Grosjean, Sainz, Daniel Kvyat, and Stroll, Magnussen, Van Dorn, Jolyon Palmer, and Fernando Alonso. Wehrlein and Marcus Ericsson rounds off.
Right, so we're actually 1.4 seconds off, so that is depressing. But never mind that. We've got 15 laps ahead of us. Wish us luck. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. Go! That's an okay stop, but Ricciardo's not got away very well, so that should be an instant position here. Just going to try not to get caught up in the first corner melee, which we haven't done. Ricciardo's managed to get me back here. I'm just going to go on the left. Oh, Ricciardo's not giving me much room here. Oh god, Ricciardo's really not giving me any room. He's really determined to have that place. We've gone deep. We're still will to will with Ricciardo, but I think we're just going to edge him out here, which we do, although it's not very clean. And Vettel's not had the best start either, so that allows us to catch up to this mini little pack here, and they are squabbling. Oh, Bottas has locked up his tyres a little bit. And you know what? I'm sensing a double overtake here. I'm sensing a double overtake. Let's just fully send it. And, oh god, we've gone wide. We have gone a little bit deep. But we've managed to pull off one overtake. Verstappen's now got completely clear, but we've cost Bottas a position. Bottas now going to the left. I'm going to have to try and cover the inside, and we have covered the inside, but Bottas not going away easily there. So Hamilton leads, Vettel second, Verstappen third. I am currently fourth, and for some reason I was running lean for half a lap there. But we're now going to turn it up to Rich Mix and see if we can get straight back into this fight. First lap out of 15 is completed. Guys, this is going to be a tough race, but we've already made up 2 positions. Let's try and make up a third here. Hamilton has just set the fastest lap, 1:31.0, and we're quite away from that, so Hamilton's actually gone. And meanwhile, Vettel was caught battling everyone else, and then I got caught up racing Bottas, who has now just dropped back a little bit from me here. So now our primary focus is on Max Verstappen, but that's not the ideal line to take there, and Bottas is just reminding me now that he's still with me. So immediately my first target is Max Verstappen. We're going to have to try and get after him, push as hard as we can, and try and get that P3 off of him. That's my first point of target this afternoon in this Australian Grand Prix. Just trying to follow him as closely as possible here. It's a Ferrari 2.4, so it's not quite as good as it was in qualifying, but it's better than it was in quali for me, just not for Seb. So, right. Careful with track limits there. That was a blatant exceeding of track limits, I do apologise. But now we're right on the rear of Max Verstappen, and we're about to take P3 from the Red Bull driver, and that was as easy as they come, wasn't it? That was as easy as they come. Up into P3, great move. Now we can maybe start setting about Sebastian Vettel if we've got the pace. It's going to be hard to do, but we have cleared Max Verstappen, who's now got Valtteri Bottas all over him for good measure. But we have now moved up into P3. Vettel is 3.5 seconds up the road, so what can we do here? What can we do? Part of me wonders, is it worth trying to put on the super soft tyres and try and get a little undercut at some point? But now is obviously, I don't think it's worth it. Verstappen and Bottas are now scrapping away over fourth place, sorry, and that's allowing me to just drive away a little bit here and focus perhaps on Sebastian Vettel, who we have gained on in the first sector. So not a bad first sector at all, but we need to keep up this pace if we are to have a chance against our teammate. And that's taken all the circuit and then some there, but I think we just about got away with it. What lap does it want me in? I didn't see. I'm not really going to look in the middle of the corner. Again, just playing there with track limits just a little bit, but we're pushing hard. We're trying to get after the front two, who kind of got away after my little double dive bomb went wrong. But we're still in P3, and Bottas has got clear of Verstappen, so it's Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, Ferrari at the moment. Mercedes, Ferrari, Ferrari, Mercedes. The 2 Ferraris are in a Mercedes sandwich. So what lap does this thing want me in? 6. Okay, we can do that. And in fact, we've set a purple final sector, so we're starting maybe to nibble our way towards the front 2. But it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be tough. No one said this was going to be easy, and this is definitely not going to be easy at all. But I'm going to give it my everything and try and get after them if I've got the car or the speed to do so. So that's 4 out of 15. Still a fair bit of the race to go. Vettel's pegged me in the first sector there. He's got an extra 10th on me. I'm not really concerned about the gap behind me at this point. I'll know when Bottas gets there. So yeah. Also, it's worth noting that we're about to go into the first race of the IRL 2021 season, which just shows how late I am completing this series, only 4 years late. But the Bahrain Grand Prix is set to open a new season, and I am excited to see it. If you want to see my predictions video for the season, again, it is also on the channel, so go and check that out. Yeah, we're coming up to the end of lap 4 now, and I can't tell if we're still making small inroads on Vettel or not. We're definitely pushing hard. And we've got pretty clear of the Red Bulls. The gap is 3 seconds, so it's very much a stalemate between the two Ferraris right now. And it's very much a case of who's going to blink first. And I wonder, is it worth hoping Seb gets held up in the initial bit of traffic after he pits in the hope of jumping him? This is going to be a very interesting strategic race, especially when, you know, around here it is so difficult to overtake. You've basically got the first corner, I think it's turn 3 they call it, or you've got the corner at the end of sector 2. And I've just gone a little bit wide there. That will probably cost me a couple attempts. But it's very much a stalemate at the moment, so it's kind of a, what are we going to do here? And now, in fact, we have got Bottas really closing me down, so I don't know if this is more of a fight for second or a fight for third, but we're pushing as hard as we can. But Bottas is catching up. That second Mercedes not giving up quite as easily as I would have hoped just yet. So we could end up seeing a bit of a fight on for this one, but currently running in P3, which is where I want to be. Obviously it's not first or second, but it'll do for now. We should have some races coming up in the season that will really suit us, so I'm keeping positive, and my pit window opens. I just wonder, oh god, because I have a big moment there. I just wonder, is it worth staying out and hoping Seb gets caught in traffic? Or do I just pit and get the tyres now? I think I've kind of got to react to Bottas almost as well, so this is a tough corner. I think I'm going to go for the new tyres and try and cover off Bottas. I think catching Vettel is going to be very, very difficult in this race, so I think we're going to pit in and cover Bottas. You know, it's all good staying out, but if Bottas pits me, that's the last thing I need, so... Well, at the moment, the weather as well is looking pretty decent. So there's no sign of rain or anything like that to impact this race. I think this is the lap to pit. We're going to cover off Bottas. Oh, that's a little bit wide, dipping my wheel in the gravel there. Oh gosh, very interesting one taken. Right, Vettel stayed out, Hamilton in the pits. So yeah, right, let's see what happens here. Hamilton's just pitted, we're just behind him though. We are going to take a fresh set of super soft tyres, which will take us to the end of the race. Hopefully no traffic, though Lewis looks like he might have a car to navigate. So far we're looking like we've got someone, I think we have got someone to navigate, but they're not that far ahead. In fact, it's Lance Stroll, but other than that, we've got some pretty clear track. So, other than Lance Stroll, we've got some clear track where we've got Carlos Sainz, who's ready to have a go. He's getting right in my slipstream there, but the 2021 Ferrari driver, but I think we're just going to cover him, and we are pretty much fine. It's now a case of getting these tyres up to speed and seeing if we can make any kind of inroads on Vettel. And obviously this will help us against Bottas as we get a big slide on there. Lucky that didn't end in anything worse than what it was. My heart was in my mouth for a moment there though. That was a bit of a slide, but we're still going, we're fine. And now the chase is on. Can we catch either Vettel or Hamilton? Or will this be a potential P3 that we are fighting over here? That was just pulled into the pits, and now we've got very close to Lance Stroll, which is not ideally what I want to be doing right at the end of the lap, where time gained or lost really matters, and we're being held up here. There's no other way to address that, as Stroll goes very slowly, but he'll be pitting. I'll thank him for the free DRS, and we are a go. Time to resume battle, and I think Vettel has come out in P2. I'm not quite sure where in relation to us he is. I think we can just see him up the road there. But he is not up to speed yet. We are. And I think it does look a little bit closer between us than what it was just before the stops. But I don't think it's close enough for him to be alarmed. Sainz has stayed out. He's in fourth. That's going to keep Bottas back a treat for us. So Bottas becomes less of a concern at this stage. We've set a purple first section. The gap is pretty much what it was between me and Vettel. It's still about 3 seconds. And I'm going to try and close that down. It's not going to be easy though, as we've got half the race still to go. But we're going to do what we can and hopefully make some inroads into Sebastian Vettel's third place. Bottas has now taken 4, but I think that's just a little bit too little too late for him, as we now try to hunt Sebastian Vettel. But the driver we're hunting is a 4-time world champion, so it's not going to be easy to displace him. And Bottas, well, he's quite a way behind us now, so Bottas is no immediate concern to me. The immediate concern I have is, can we get after Sebastian Vettel? And Hamilton's fastest lap is a 26.2. What have we done here? 26.4, so we're 2 tenths off that lap. And Vettel has just lit up those new tyres. He has gained a few tenths on us this lap, so Vettel just absolutely lighting those tyres up because he is gone. So this isn't going to be easy to beat him. But we're going to definitely push our hardest and give it our all, that's for sure. We set a nice purple first sector there. That's smooth, that's exactly what we want to do. Just keep those decent sectors coming in. And so far no one's retired from this race, so it's no sign of attrition yet. Everybody's still running. As Vettel just pulls clear of us even more in that second sector. I'm more concerned about him catching Lewis than us catching him. And Bottas again is quite a way behind us, so I don't really feel like immediately he's any threat. Maybe towards the end of the race he might be, but for now I think I'm quite comfortable with where he's at. I'm quite comfortable with where we're at, considering that we did start in P6, and we've just matched Vettel's time actually. He did 26.1, so did we, so we've pulled back some time on Vettel. He was pulling away, but he's now really catching Lewis Hamilton, so that could be, like, if those two start battling, you know, hopefully we'll get a little invite to join that fight. But obviously we've got to keep pushing and just not give an inch. Definitely not giving any inches on the track limits, that's for sure. Definitely playing dare with some of those in this Grand Prix. Just charging now. Trying just to make some kind of inroads on the front. It's a little bit wide there, but I don't think that's going to cost us too much time. Some very interesting lines that we are taking though. A little bit questionable. What's our time this time? Oh, it's a 25.9! Fastest lap of the race. Let's go. Finding our rhythm now, chaps. Let's get after this fight. Now we've found some pace. Didn't even think that was a particularly good lap, to be honest. I was just doing my thing, in my rhythm, and for some reason, that was a great lap. I'll take that. Oh, well, that's messy. That is messy. Hopefully that won't cost us too much time, but that was a messy end to the sector there. Okay, I didn't hear who has a mechanical problem, but I know someone does. So that could heat things up. Okay, that's the second warning for track limits, which that has, I'll be honest, that's been coming for the last few laps now, so we don't really want to be playing there with those anymore. Vettel has really caught Hamilton on this lap. Vettel's really caught him. Is Hamilton having some kind of difficulty here? Because all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Vettel is on him. And he doesn't seem to be going particularly quick, does Lewis? So I just wonder if the car with a problem is that Lewis. I didn't hear who it was because I couldn't really hear Jeff over myself. So I tell you what, if Hamilton does have issues, Vettel does not want to be stuck behind him on this part of the circuit, because that is where we can make some inroads. So just got to push now. Just got to push. In fact, yes, he's really caught up to Hamilton. So Hamilton's, for whatever reason, just doesn't have any pace. I think that is about to be Vettel taking the lead. No, it isn't. So Hamilton's limping and Vettel's right behind him. Surely the lead is going to change hands at the end of Sector 2 here. I can't see what's going on because they're not close enough to me yet. I'm closing on them, but not by enough to see what's going on yet. And I think this is going to be Vettel taking him, surely. No, not quite yet, but maybe when the DRS zone comes up on the pit straight, it will be. We're definitely catching on to these two now. And you can see Hamilton just doesn't appear to have the pace. Extraordinary scenes at the Australian Grand Prix here. And surely, with the assistance of DRS and the fact that his car, Lewis's car, isn't working as well as it should be, Vettel's going to have the lead. I think he has taken it. Yeah, that's Hamilton down to second now, and he's still limping. So we have a chance here to grab at P2. I don't know if Hamilton's going to have a look at Vettel. It doesn't appear so. Look how slow Lewis is going under the braking spot here. There's Vettel right in front of us. There's Hamilton now, who, like I said, he just appears to be limping. He seems to have some kind of issue. He nearly lost it there, actually. And Hamilton going very defensive. But, yeah, Hamilton's just, he's clearly limping. He's got an issue. And we are going to capitalise off that straight away. Down the inside of Lewis Hamilton, and that is P2. So we are currently looking at, in the first race of the season, a Ferrari 1-2 with Sebastian Vettel leading the way. Oh, drama right at the end of the race here. It looked like it was going to be a bit of a stalemate to the end, but Lewis, you can see, is really dropping back from me as well. That was not particularly difficult to get past Lewis there, whereas Vettel a little bit up the road. I have a feeling he's going to be a little bit harder to overtake. So Vettel in the lead. I'm in second place. And a Ferrari 1-2 for sure is on the cards here. Unless Hamilton's car gets back up to speed, or we make a mistake, or we end up with an unwanted penalty. So at this point, I think I'm not going to try catching Vettel too much, because he's 2.5 seconds up the road. And I don't think there's really much that's going to stop him at this point, as Pascal Wehrlein drops out of the race. I don't think passing Vettel is realistically a possibility here. So I think at this point I'm just going to bring her home, grab second place and bag the points. It's a great start for Ferrari. Mercedes clearly with chinks in their armour already. We're now coming up to where Wehrlein is parked. That's a yellow flag there. So, and obviously that's the bit of the circuit that they've changed for the 2021 season. And Hamilton's now got big problems with Bottas right behind him. So I think Hamilton is more concerned with Bottas than he is about getting back after us. Vettel's pulled 7/10 clear on this lap alone, but I'm not pushing it. I'm just bringing her home. Second place is still a great feat, considering we started P6, so I'm not too unhappy with that. But we've still got a lap to complete yet. Hamilton's still limping. I think Bottas might just pip him for P3 here. and the Red Bulls just don't seem to be anywhere near us either, so it's not a particularly strong day for Red Bull, but it's a great start for Ferrari if we can just complete this one lap as we are. One lap stands between us and a brilliant 1-2 to kick things off. And I'm sure Sebastian Vettel will be very happy to have this be the start of the season. And you know what, I'm pretty happy to start things off in this way too. Ooh, nearly lost it there. I was just checking the stream to see if I'd had any comments. Evidently not, but yeah. So, story of the race then. We managed to go up from P6 to P5 at the start. Some very close wheel-to-wheel action with Ricciardo. Tried a double overtake on Bottas and Verstappen. I then went wide, and I think Bottas went wide with me in sympathy. Verstappen managed to get back through into P3, but we held P4. I then overtook Verstappen, and then obviously Lewis has had his car issues, so a little bit of drama surrounding this race, and a little bit of help from circumstances to obtain this result. But hey, when the scraps are there for the taking, you gotta take them. It's a win for Sebastian Vettel then, but it is second place for us, and it's a Ferrari 1-2. Grazie ragazzi, Forza Ferrari. And probably the only context I'll be able to say Ferrari 1-2 in this whole year. But yes, we have done it. That's a great result.
So, here they come now, out onto the podium. Wherever you go, anywhere in the world, the prancing horse flags are dominant in the grandstands, and they're out in force again today. It's Ferrari, on the top step once more. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship.
Bit of drama for the first race, but you know, it's got to be done.
After that excellent result. Now then, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver
yeah, I enjoyed that one.
It's a difficult call,
so
but
there's
I'm
the
going
full
to have to
results.
give it to the Ferrari driver.
It's Vettel, myself, Bottas,
and
Hamilton,
pace
and
at times,
Verstappen
so I
and
don't think anyone
Ricciardo,
else did a better
with
job
Massa,
today.
Ocon, Grosjean, and Perez rounding out the final results. And well, there you have it. That's the constructors' standings, and we've got a nice little lead there. Obviously, the drivers' standings are as we finished. Yeah, that was the Australian Grand Prix. Thank you for watching. Do join me for the next race, which I believe is the Chinese Grand Prix. Till then, it is goodbye from me.